G'day guys, Mr. Bennett here. Today we're going to be looking at incorporating a fair bit of what we've learnt in the whole topic in coordinate geometry, and we're looking at a situation where we have 3 points or three key positions there, and just want to talk about why we want to do this. So if you're thinking about points A, B and C, and there, right, the lines that go between A and C are in fact organised so they are equidistant from those two things, and the same from B and C. So these are the bisectors of that, and then C, there's a line that goes through BC. So an example of this sort of scenario might be that you have a pizza shop. All right, pizza shop will have a certain region that they'll deliver to, and you're not too far from a pizza shop, so people know if you live on that particular road in this section blue, then B will send the pizza to you, or if you go to C, that will be set up, and likewise for A. So it could be a pizza shop, it could be things like an ambulance station or a fire station. We'll have a region where they'll service. Could be a school, so I know there's certain schools where if you live in a certain suburb you're allowed to go to that school, and if you live on the other side of the road then you can't go to that school, you have to go to another one. Alright, so they actually zone things. Alright, so this is quite interesting maths in terms of the real life nature of it. We're going to go through the mathematics part to find those particular borders. Alright, so let's say we have, in this particular case, our values here, and we have our A value here, which is that's our B, and that's our C. Right, so the key thing is I want to know where that vertice point is. So keeping in mind the concept is that line there is equal distance between A and B. There's a line that's equal distance between B and C, and then there's a line equal distance between A and C. And those point there is where all those three lines actually intersect. Alright, so what do I need to do? Well, obviously I need to find the midpoint between A and B, and that will give me the point that fits on the line there. Okay, if I find the slope of the line between A and B, then that will give me the slope of this line. We know this one here will actually hit perpendicular to that particular line there. Okay, and then once I know a point and the slope of the line, then I can find the equation of that particular line, can't I? Alright, so again, I can do the same thing for A and C. If I find the line that's perpendicular to there, the slope of that particular thing, then I can find the point where that's the midpoint. And once I know the point and the slope, then I can find the equation of the line. Then if we want to find this point here, we simply look at the intersection point between those two lines. So these can be quite, long questions, but the mathematics behind what you have to do is actually not that hard. So let's make a start. Let's find the line between B and C. I might as well do it up here so you can actually see it. Alright, so we need to find the midpoint between that. We'll call that point M. So what we do is we add the two x coordinates together, and we divide by 2, don't we? Add the two y coordinates together and divide that by 2. So the midpoint is equal to the point that's going to be 5 on 2, and 12 on 2 will give me a value of 6. So that's the midpoint. If we find the slope of the line AB, that's simply give the change in the y of the change of x. That's going to be 5 take 7 all over 7 take negative 2, which is plus 2. So that will give me a value of negative 2 on 9. So therefore the slope of the line through M is equal to 9 on 2, isn't it? So now we've got the point and we've got the slope. Then we can go y take 6, x take 5 on 2, that's equal to 9 on 2. Now understand that I've just made this one up, so that's why it's probably not going to work as well as one that would be set up in your textbook, or I would set up in a test situation for you. I'm just going to delete that so I've got a bit of room. Right, so in terms of this next bit, I just need to go through my process. So that's 2 lots of y take 6. So 6 times 2 is 12. Then it's going to be 9 lots of x take 9 times 5 is 45 on 2. Okay, and so therefore 2y is equal to 9x. It's going to be take 45. Now that's going to become plus 12, so plus 24 on 2. And so therefore my answer is going to be y is equal to 9x on 2. And that will be 45 minus 45 plus 24 is going to give me 21. And that's going to be on 4. So it's going to be minus 21 on 4 is the equation, the first line. Right, so if we do the same thing for AC, okay, so what's the midpoint of, we'll call that point there P, okay, so the point P, add the 2x coordinates together, minus 2 plus 1 all over 2, minus or 7 plus minus 4 is minus 4 over 2. So the point P, therefore P is equal to minus 1 on 2 and 3 on 2. Right, so now the other thing I need to work out is the slope of that line. Okay, so the slope of the line AC, slope of the line AC is going to be equal to the change in the y over the change in the x. So let's do 7 take negative 4, which is going to be plus 4, all over negative 2 take 1. So that's going to give me an answer of 11 on negative 3. So therefore the slope of the line P has to be perpendicular to that, so that's going to be 3 on 11. It's not going to be a very nice number, is it? Okay, so the next thing I've got to do, knowing the point and the line, I've got to find my equation. So therefore we're going to have y take 3 on 2, x take negative half, so that's plus a half, and that's equal to 3 on 11. So again, I'm going to just do the same process, even though these aren't very nice numbers, it's going to still work out. So I'm going to get 11y take 11 times 3 is going to be 33 on 2 is equal to 3x plus 3 on 2. Alright, so when I bring that across, it's going to be 11y is equal to 3x. And then I'm going to be plussing that, so that'll be 33 plus 3 is plus 36 on 2. So we can say that's 18, can't we? So therefore y is equal to 11 on 3 x plus 18 on 11. So that's my equation on my second line. Now, obviously to find the point where those two lines meet, I've got to solve this thing simultaneously. Right? So I can do it on my calculator, or what I can do is I can put these two equations and make them equal. So they're going to be equal in 3 on 11x plus 18 on 11 is equal to 9x on 2 take 21 on 4. Okay, now I don't like fractions, you don't like fractions. Okay, so the easiest thing to do is times this all by a number that's going to get rid of all the fractions. Okay, so the lowest common multiple there would be something like 44. If I times it all by 44, now that means I'm timesing these numbers here by, the 11 is going to cancel out with the 44 and give me 4. So on this side here, that's going to be 12x, so I'm timesing each of these numbers by 4, plus 4 times 18 is going to be 72. Now that means I'm timesing this number here by 22, so 9 times 22. That's going to be 9 times by 20 is going to be 180, and then 9 times 2 is 18, so that's going to be 198x, and then that times that's 11 times 21. I might get my calculator for that because my brain is dead. I'm sitting doing this on holidays. Let's wait for my calculator. Quit out of here. So 11 times 21. I should have done some head. It's actually not that hard to do. 231. Right, so if we go back to my document, so that's going to be take 231. Right, so then obviously you're going to bring all the x's to one side and all the numbers to the other side, so it's going to be 72 plus 231 equals 198x take 12x. So that's going to give me 303. And then that's going to be 186x. So therefore x is equal to 303 all over 186 as a fraction. And then what you need to do is you need to substitute that x value into one of the equations to find the y coordinate. This is certainly not a very nice equation, but you get the idea of what to do here. All right, so the secret is, right, for this question here, right, you have to find the midpoint. You have to find the slope of the line. Once you know the slope of the line between A and B, you know the slope of this line. Find the equation. Do that for another one of these lines, and then what you need to do is to find the intersect point. Now, that takes a fair bit of work. So the idea in a test, I'd probably give you everything but one of those equations. And so therefore I could go through and ask you to do certain parts of that. So I wouldn't probably expect you to do the whole thing in a test because it'd take a fair while. So I'd get you to do parts of that and I'd give you certain parts of that. All right, so anyway, the concept though is important. All right, the concept's a really important one that you need to work on. So you need to make sure you have a go at some of these questions in your textbook.